Good day everybody. This time we'll be having a closer look at what class changes are in store for monks in the upcoming expansion Stormblood. We'll be focusing on the new and significantly reworked abilities instead of covering potency or cooldown adjustments, with a bit of my own commentary as we go along. So without further delay, let's get started. With the addition of role actions, abilities that were previously exclusive to certain jobs are now accessible to all melee classes. There is a total of 10 available melee role actions, of which only 5 can be active at a time. Let's go over them one by one. Second Wind is the first addition to both melee and ranged role actions, providing them with a moderate but reliable self-healing ability. Arm's Length is an all-new action that applies a slow effect to any attackers. While situational, it ensures attackers will have a hard time breaking free after entering combat. Leg Sweep, originally a Lancer skill, has had its potency removed, and was made into a mainstream stun to all melee classes. Diversion is another new action that takes on the properties of the old Quelling Strikes, reducing enmity generation while active. Invigorate, another skill originally from Lancers, found its way to the role actions list, providing both melee and ranged classes with a reliable way to restore their TP. Bloodbath was also converted to a melee role action, retaining its original life-draining properties. Goad, originally a ninja exclusive ability, has joined the melee role action list, providing a much-needed flexibility to double melee party compositions. Next up is Feint, an ability that saw little use outside of PvP. It has been reworked into a physical mitigation debuff on a long cooldown. Crutch is a new utility action that removes bind and heavy from another party member. Definitely a situational ability, but it's still early to draw any conclusions. And finally, True North, an all-new ability that removes all directional requirements from weapon skills for the duration. Melee classes collectively rejoice as they gain the ability to reposition bosses in their own way. Now let's move on to the monk-specific changes. As with all the other jobs, monks gain their own UI elements in the form of a chakra and lightning grease gauges. But unlike other classes, the gauges themselves are not used as a resource for abilities, but rather visual indicators for your chakra and lightning grease stacks. This is especially useful due to the new trait, Deep Meditation, that grants chakra stacks upon dealing critical damage, something that would be otherwise easy to miss without a proper visual indicator. While a relatively minor adjustment, to accommodate the addition of the role action Leg Sweep, the stun component of Steel Peak has been removed. One Ilm Punch has also had its buff stripping component removed, but it has gained the ability to stun targets past effects that would normally prevent them. As part of the job action overhaul, Dragon Kick no longer causes the int down debuff, which is now part of the caster role actions. At level 66, a new trait changes the functionality of Shoulder Tackle depending on what fist buff is active. For Fists of Earth, Shoulder Tackle gains a knockback component at the cost of lowered range, in the form of Earth Tackle. For Fists of Fire, Shoulder Tackle gains additional potency in the form of Fire Tackle. For Fists of Wind, Shoulder Tackle is presented in the form of Wind Tackle, where damage is reduced, but allows for a second tackle in the form of Riddle of Wind. Riddle of Earth is a new ability that grants Fists of Earth, resets the greased lightning duration to its maximum, and further reduces damage taken when attacked. Riddle of Fire grants a massive damage increase at the cost of longer weapon skill cooldown, but unlike Riddle of Earth, it does not reset the duration of greased lightning. The signature action of level 70 monks comes in the form of Brotherhood, increasing damage dealt by all nearby party members and granting a moderate chance to open up a chakra when affected members use weapon skills. As with other classes, not all abilities made it through the action overhaul. Aside from abilities that were made into role actions, notable mentions for monks include Featherfoot, Haymaker, and Touch of Death. All things considered, it feels like monks will greatly benefit from the majority of these changes, especially the much-needed buffs to party synergy. But let me know how you feel about these changes. And finally, what class would you like to see covered next? Let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you next time.